What is up everyone, Northside here, welcome to my channel. I'm floating in Port Niazaru and I'm going to try to simplify something that is not so simple. Now you may wonder how and why most of endgamers and other players are aiming toward accuracy. Now the formula has changed and I had to start from scratch basically. Now keep that in mind when I show you my character sheet. We're gonna start from the beginning. Every boss and I think mob now have 50% chance to deflect your attack. What does that mean? And it has 90% critical severity while it does it. So we're gonna go with the offensive first. So it's like a flip of a coin. Every encounter, every at-will, every attack you do, the boss, let's focus on a boss, has a 50% chance to deflect your attack with 90% severity, which means that if you don't jack up your accuracy enough, combat advantage attack, basically your entire attack will be negated to a very, if you're low on accuracy, to a very low damage. So I'm going to open my character sheet and show you how it looks like. What you do not want to do is lower your item level in order to get these stats in order, because your total item level is hit points and damage. So you want to keep this as high as you can. You got to keep in mind that ratings and total percentages, which can go over cap, it's tricky. It's not like your usual building. You also may wonder why I'm a male git race. It's because of the Paragon 5% more combat advantage. Nothing in this video is set in stone. This is just a version 1 of me building the toon to be more effective, and I'm gonna give some pointers to you. So obviously power is not the problem. Power can come from the gear, the various enchantments, so that should not be a problem. Even if you go over cap, which is not you want these numbers to be into green, white, not too much in orange, and definitely not too low, like awareness for example here. Now my awareness counters the combat advantage that boss now has constant combat advantage over you. So you can see my ratings here that my this is out of combat of course, that I am at 50% rating of accuracy, which counters the boss's chance to deflect, and percentages total 64.8. Combat advantage is a little lower, easy fix, not a big deal, with almost 70% combat advantage. I want to utilize that combat advantage combined with critical strike, which is 51%, actually 50%, and that can go higher. So we're gonna have people are gonna have to make choices here. So I'm gonna try to optimize this to be in sync. Now I'm talking about the offensive stats. Of course my defense has to be at least 50 or more. Awareness, I'll get to that, and also there will be people who will choose deflect and deflect severity. That's really all up to you. I will be focusing on defense and awareness because boss will have constant combat advantage over me. That is very important. I'm not going to go too much into details. Now regarding if you're curious, I'm using the old bracers from awareness. We got some tier 3 gear, and this is all subject to change. Old ebony stained shirt, I could use old rusted iron leggings, and I will as soon as I see what they want to do with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 gear from the hunts, and of course what's going to happen with the Tales of Old set. So for the time being I'm using this. So if you look at here, these percentages are very important. The ratings are not that hard to reach, but going over those ratings is how I do it. Of course not just ratings. Ratings comes from gear, enchantments, and of course this equipment, companion equipment. You can see it's all reckoned runestone for accuracy, all of them. Now you can play with them. This is still version 1 of many versions that I will do. Now if you look at stats and powers, you can see them here. I am using perfect vision, so I can increase my accuracy to 7.5%, and I will show you that soon. Fate Panther presence, accuracy, combat advantage. Taldor combat at 7.5% combat advantage. Fire Archon insight 7.5% combat advantage. Archer guard discipline 3.8 power, 3.8% defense. Mercenary discipline 3.8 power, 3.8% combat advantage. This is not going to be cheap, but I'm going to try to make it as cheap as possible for you guys. So but you got to give me some time. Also what you don't want to have is low hit points. So for the time being I'm using all assassin enchantments in offensive slot and brutal enchantments with hit points and also defense, which caps my defense to 54% because boss will shred me. I don't know how much, I don't know for how, because they need to do much more passes on this. What's also important is boons that you're going to use from the stronghold. Now, I'm using defense boon, I'm using critical severity, critical strike bonus. Now I could use critical severity bonus. Yes, you can use awareness bonus, because awareness is very, but so it's tricky and it's going to take some much more testing on a previous shard before this goes live. I will have to remind you I'm an endgame player. I did some combat tracker testing. My encounter DPS is very good. I removed sadly one of my necklaces and I can't get it back. I don't know why. I think it's bugged. So also insignia will play a lot of big role in this. Also you can see here that combatant maneuver, after controlling an enemy you gain combat advantage. Balaton is controlling an enemy and it will give you 2,500 combat advantage rating for 10 seconds, so you can use that, but boss should not be controlled. That's the thing. So it's still a game of numbers, only this time much more complicated. So let me show you how this works in actual combat. So this dummy actually has the combat advantage. It's giving me combat advantage. You can see the blue icon down there. So I'm gonna just use everything I have and explain one more time why is this so important. Okay, so decent hits, so I'm gonna keep hitting them. Let me just get into battle rage and open my character sheet. Now look at here, this is what I want. So it's not going to be constant, but 72.3%, 77%. So it's all up to you. So since I'm not overlapping, forget about getting everything to 90%. That's not going to happen. It's going to be kind of really complicated. Now power will vary, but it will come from the helmet. It can come from the various sources, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. You can see that my defense is 54%, but this is where it gets interesting. If the boss deflects my attack, so now I have 72.3 spiking to 80. I can make this 80 to 85%. Every time the boss deflects, every hit I'm making now behind can be deflected, and if he deflects and has 90% severity, I'm going to lose everything here. Common advantage, critical strike, every hit power goes to waste. Say I have under 50% or 50%. If he deflects, he will deflect 40% of my damage, meaning everything I gain from common advantage, critical strike, critical severity, if I crit, is going to waste. That's the problem. That's the thing that we're dealing with now. So I kept this video for version 1 in order to explain this a little bit better as much as I can. I call it for dummies because I am a dummy also in this case, and it's very important for you to understand why certain endgamers like me and others are actually stacking on accuracy, because accuracy counters the boss's basically that 50% deflect chance, because he will have 50% chance to deflect, and you do not want him to deflect. And if he will deflect, you can't counter that. You can go all the way to 90, but you will lose on common advantage, you will lose on critical strike, you will lose on critical severity. And not only that, he has also 90% critical when he crits, 90% critical severity, which is even worse. All in all, this is a crash course for now. Try to focus, try to balance your stats, try to focus on accuracy, do whatever you can. I'm testing a lot of companions. This is nothing final. There's still a lot of things to be done. I hope I made myself clear. Guys, every boss, and I think critter, if I understood No Worries correctly, now have 50% chance to deflect your attack. You gotta counter that as much as you can, otherwise all of this combat advantage, critical strike, and critical severity goes to waste. It's a game of numbers. We got the information that accuracy is very important, and I am comfortable around 75 to 80%, 85% maybe, and combat advantage to keep that. But critical strike, we are already capped on live server with the critical strike, so we can go over that. But as you can see, I am over my 50,368, which means that I'm doing actually less. I have a less chance to crit. I explained this in my previous videos. Accuracy, combat advantage, and then critical strike and critical severity. So that's how it's supposed to be. In my case, that's how I'm going to build my tune. I'm not excluding power, mind you. Power is there. Power is going to come from various sources. Keep in mind that this is still work in progress and we got a lot of things to do, not to mention that I need to choose defense or awareness or deflect and deflect severity and defense, something like that, meaning that I'm gonna have to give up on a lot of stuff offensive wise in order to be more defensive. But that's where the other players in your party comes in, because the debuffs are actually going to be working. You can lower your target resistance through various sources. I'm not going to go through all of them now, but like anticipation, chance on a hit to increase your critical avoidance, but my critical avoidance, not the entire party's, which means that yeah, I'm going to have to make a choice, and that choice is not going to be easy. So that's why I'm working so hard to figure all these things out. So always keep that in mind. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will gladly reply. And for all of you who are, you know, have your own builds and plans, I understand that everybody has a different point of view, but this is what is very important. So we cannot ignore the fact that the bosses now have constant combat advantage over you, which means, so just a quick short video. If anything is unclear, why are we stacking on this much accuracy? It's very simple. Boss, it's a flip of a coin. Every hit I just did, let's call that a boss, had a 50% chance to deflect my attack. If I don't counter that attack or his 50% chance to deflect, everything goes to waste. It doesn't matter how much that my power is capped. It doesn't matter that I'm a very high combat advantage in combat advantage position. So as I said, still work in progress. I will be working on this as much as I can, but in the end the holidays are coming and I don't want to burn myself out. So playing with insignias, with companions, companion gear. I hope I made myself clear. This is just first iteration, as they call it, but this is my first version. This is not a build. Forget about any kind of min-maxing for now, because everything I'm waiting for them to change tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 gear, and also they're gonna change the armor and weapon enchantments. I didn't know that until the recent patch. Thank you for watching. This was Northside. Any questions, shoot it in the comment section below. Shout out to my channel members, Kret, Ivy, and all my friends who are supporting me and stick by me. Stay safe, stay healthy, and Northside is out.